Hi, Steve Ray here with another episode of Park Bench Pittsfield. Today we're here in our downtown office with Coach Brandon Maurer from the Pittsfield Generals. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. Yep. Happy to be here.
Okay, so Coach, you are the boys varsity head coach at Pittsfield High.
I am going on my third season at the school as the head coach, and I started it must be 8 years ago now with a former head coach here right next to me. Yeah, good start to my career. I'll tell you that.
So you're already off to a quick start this season. You guys are 2 games in already.
Yeah, 2 games in. We had a back-to-back Friday, Saturday. We went 1-1, showing a lot of promise, a lot of effort, looking pretty solid.
The back-to-back was where, Coach?
So we head down to Worcester to play this team called Doherty High School on Friday. That went well. We ended up losing by 3 in a thriller.
Doherty's a perennial powerhouse out of the central part of the state.
Absolutely, they're like usually one of the top 5 teams in the state, and we gave them a run. They kind of showed some of their senior leadership at the end and hit that 3 to put us down. And then we played at the Cage, at the UMass Cage on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and it was another barn burner of a game, really entertaining. At the end, we showed growth from the first game. We closed out in another close game. So, growth within a game, that's not too bad.
It's always fun to start the season off in the Pioneer Valley Tip-Off Classic and playing in the Cage.
Oh my goodness, yes. Obviously with all the history behind the Cage, it's the kids love going in there. It's it's invaluable. It's a nice experience for the kids.
So, Coach, tell us a little about the squad this year. What are you expecting?
Well, we're always a work in progress, especially at this stage in the season, but we show a lot of promise on the defensive end. On the offensive end, we have a bunch of guys who came back. All my captains, Kamani Harley, Sincere Moore, Craig Jackson. All 3 of them came back in great shape this year, and so far they're doing a great job of leading this younger core into kind of what I'd expected we'd want this season to look like.
Any big height? Any size?
We do have some younger guys. Ryan Jackson, his brother Kenny, Marlon Binns. They're all around about 6'3". They're all new to the new to the varsity program, so they're also learning a lot of new things, and at the pace I want them to. They're learning fast. I think I've been pretty proud of their efforts so far, especially those first 2 games. They had a lot of energy and a lot of help in the backside.
Now, I know those 3 guys you mentioned in the beginning are pretty much a perimeter, but can slash and get to the rack pretty good. What kind of a style do you expect these guys to play this year?
Well, we expect to be fast. We don't have a true point guard, so we've actually done a great job of spreading the ball around. The first 2 games, Kamani had 21 points. In the second game, Craig Jackson had 27. So it's going to be a feast or famine type thing where the guys, well, if they're not having a good game, they can pass it off to, Laquan, Kamani, Sincere, Craig, and they can carry the offensive load. That's been consistent for that group. On the other side of it, the defensive side, they've been a very good group together. So the trust is fantastic on the defensive side. And on the offensive side, they're definitely getting there.
So, Coach, talk about some of the challenges you faced in those last 3 years here, coaching a high school basketball team. I mean, as a former coach, I know that it's a lot more than just X's and O's that you go through every day.
Well, some of the challenges from the personal end, it's just making sure I can reach every kid the way I can, treating everybody differently but equally at the same time, firm but fair in terms of personal stuff. From the business side of things, it's the constant efforts of raising money for the program, considering all the money that we raise for the program goes right back to the kids. But at times it's when you're getting things for the kids, it gets pricey. It's a lot more expensive than I think most people understand.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. I think maybe one thing that many people don't know is a high school boys basketball program, well, the girls too,
Yeah.
but is completely self-funded, really. I mean, certainly you don't pay for your buses because the school provides that, but
Yes.
you get no financial contribution and everything, uniforms,
Yep.
everything, balls,
Yep.
all of that comes from your ability to raise money
Yes.
through booster clubs. And so what are some of the things you guys do to keep that going, and how can people help?
Well, over the past couple of years, we've had great sponsorship opportunities. We've had, Dave's Caves does, Dave his own Dina Kona remodeling. He's one of our sponsors. Mazio's the last couple of years has been a sponsor. CrossFit has been a 3-year sponsor since I took over the program. These are ways that people help us out. Otherwise, we've done other, creative ways, such as like a cash calendar, which usually does pretty well. Qualprint has, since I took over, has donated the materials and everything. So it's just all money that goes to the program, and we're always very pleased with the donations. It's been fantastic. You can't. It's invaluable.
So what do you do when you're off time? And I mean, I know, Coach, you're one of the few people, I guess, and younger people have gone away to school and then come back to Pittsfield. What do you do when you're off time here?
So recently, I just retired. I worked for the state police for 3-4 years. I was a detective in the Berkshire DA's office. Once I retired, I kind of put my foot forward with more coaching. I do individual coaching in the off season, and then during the season, obviously I have the most time in the world to review tape and really perfect my craft, because I love coaching. So it's just one of those things.
Okay, Coach, so if people want to get a hold of you with questions about your program, how to support you, fundraisers, how do they get a hold of you?
So they can reach me on my personal cell phone, which is 413-841-1342, or they could go to my Facebook, which is self-titled Brandon Maurer, or further, my Instagram account, which is coach.maurer, Mauer, or even further, I'm going to be going on to a YouTube endeavor where it's called Hoops Motivation. No content yet. Most likely after the season, I'll put in some things that are, life-based, motivation-based, hopefully to help the upcoming hooper to help themselves, guide themselves through their lives, personally. My hopes.
That's great. So the information he just gave you will be below, along with the schedule, if you want to get to a game and check out fast-paced, up and down, high energy, great basketball. Make sure you show up. You might get a workout just watching these guys play.
I know I will.
Thanks for coming, Coach.
Thanks for having me.